All right. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. All right, guys. I'm a little bit behind. I missed Thursday, I missed Friday, and today is Saturday. I'm going to go ahead and do two videos for you guys and upload them if you're wanting to catch on. Um, so, Thursday was a tough day for me. As most of you guys know, we're all in quarantine, and I teach in Missouri. And even though we all knew that our school was probably going to be shut down for the rest of the school year, I think most of us teachers all held on to a little bit of hope. Um, Unfortunately, the news on Thursday came about that our school is closed down. So it kind of hit me hard. I didn't get around to doing a video. I had always wanted to do this for you guys. This little peace crane. So this is a peace crane that I give. I give this as tips. I'll make them out of dollar bills. I just make these things. My son can actually make them super small. I've made some smaller than this. And this is an example of my golden crane. Now, these golden cranes are very special to me because every year, hopefully I can get through this without crying. Every year and every semester, I give about 60 of these little golden cranes out to a special class. So this year, I've got to figure out if I'm going to still be able to do that and how I'm going to get those to those special students in my art classroom. So I know each week I give out a big golden crane for the classroom, and then the end of the semester, I make these little golden cranes for every individual student that's in those classes that have earned the most. Now, this is my foil paper. It's a little bit nicer, a little bit more interesting, but I thought I would go ahead and at least show you guys how to do this. Now, this is just a crane. You can find these on the internet. Maybe my teaching will help you guys along the way, but I'm going to try my best. And this is smaller than the one we're going to do. Now, I want to go back to this piece of paper. If you had been watching some of my earlier videos, I had showed I had shown people how to get to um, like a base, the water bomb base, basically, or the base of this in a different video that was easier. If you're wanting to follow along with me, I'm going to do it the way I always do it with squash folds, and I'm going to be using those terminologies. If you don't, I'll show you this. So this is a little bit opposite than the way we do it normally. But you're going to take a piece of paper and you're going to fold it diagonally with the colored side on the inside first. Okay, so you do the diagonals, you do the other diagonal, and then you have to flip it upside down. So now we're going to have the colored side down, and you're going to do the horizontal, and you're going to do the vertical, or just another like back and forth. And then whenever it's like that, you're going to take it and you're going to collapse it in on itself using these little things, and you're going to be making that shape. Okay. Now, I know that was done very quickly. I had done this in a different video. I think it was my Lily video. I showed people how to do this. This is an easier way to do it. I still don't use that technique, but I have found that some students, fifth graders, and so might need that little bit of help. So that's a possibility. I'm going to show you the way I teach my fifth graders and the way I've always done it. So if you have something like this, get a piece of paper. This is a peach, so it's really hard to see. I'm still going to keep it, but turn your piece of paper diagonally with the white side up. White side up. The colored side is going to be down. And we're going to first start off by folding in half diagonally. Now, if you've watched any of my other origami videos, you know that I say matching that first two corners is the most crucial. Once that's matched, you kind of pinch it, and you don't ever want to let go of it. Now, you can just go up and down the seam, keep it pinched, and go up and down the seam opposite, kind of just slowly getting in there. And then you can have it folded like that. Now, like I said, this is not going to be the same way, but this is the way I've always done it. So now you're going to take your triangle and you're going to fold your triangle in half from left to right or from right to left. Notice how I'm kind of bending that seam. I like to break that paper up a little bit because sometimes it gets stuck right here. Once again, match those corners up nice and neat. and then you just kind of crease it down. All right. Now, this is the part that gets people somewhat confused, but I like to tell people to take that flap that you just folded over and pull it straight up and down, 90 degrees, 90-degree angle, and you're going to open up the pocket, and this is where the squash fold comes into play. This is an actual terminology for origami, and it's the squash fold. So you take that, and you're going to squash it down. Make sure the seam, oopsie daisy, sorry. Make sure the seam flattens right in the center. So I'm trying to do it without my hands getting in their way, but once that's in there, you can crease it down so it's nice and neat, and so you have that little shape right there. Now, flip it over. You're going to take the extension or the little triangle that's over here. You're going to like kind of like turn the page of a book back and forth. Make sure you kind of like get that fold. Turn the page back and forth and get it going 90 degrees straight up and down. Okay? And now everybody knows this. Like, does everyone know what we're going to do next? They're like, yes! It's a squash fold. So we're going to do another little squash fold. So I stick my finger all the way in there. I open it up. And I take it and I collapse it down inside of there. Just like so. Once it's matched up nice and neat, then you can crease it down. All right. And so that should be the same way as this. Now, I don't know which way you prefer. It's the same thing. Obviously, this fold is going up. This fold is going down. I might get better at doing this way. This is something new for me. But I found that this way, some students say, that's the hard way. There's another way. I'm like, well, I don't know how else to do it. This is the way I was taught. So from here, now what we're going to do, I need you to lay it down with the open part facing away from you. This is very important. The folded part, all the collapsed part needs to be pointing towards you. All the open part needs to be folded away from you. If you're wanting to follow along with me, because this is where some people mess up, they fold this side whenever I want them to fold this side, and the creases get wrong. So I'm going to show you the helper folds to do something that I don't normally do with the helper folds, and then I'm going to show you how I normally do it. So you're going to take the top right edge and the top left edge, and you're going to fold it in towards the center. Now, you're going to be taking basically 1, 2 layers of paper. So you're going to take one of the pages. You're going to take one of the pages, and you're going to fold it towards the center, kind of like an airplane fold. And once you get it to the center, you crease it down. Now, this is the part that I normally go around and I check with my students to make sure that they did the open part. Now, look at it again. You have to make sure that it's the open part when you fold this down. This is just the helper fold. And I take this, and we fold this down into the center. Okay? Fold it down into the center. Now, at this point, I tell them to crease it down. I say flip it over. Once again, check. Make sure you have the open side up. Now, I know this is repetition, but people sometimes get confused and they start doing the other way, and it doesn't work. So once you have the open side, you're going to take the top right, top left edge, and fold it in towards the center. Okay? Right side, left side. Don't overlap it. Just kind of get it right next to the center. I don't know if you guys can hear in the background. My kids are watching Crudes. And I say kids are watching the Crudes, and most of you guys are probably thinking little toddlers. No, these are my teenagers, but that's okay. I would be watching it with them if I could, but I'm doing this little video. So, and now, oh, guys, I'm sorry. So, now, once you did the little flap, you should see this triangle. Do you guys see this triangle down here? Okay. Now, this triangle, we're going to fold it over those flappers. We're going to fold it like this. So, watch. I tell my students, okay, fold it one way. And I say, now I want you to fold it the other direction. And I say, everyone give me a thumbs up if you've done it that way. And I say, okay, now do it again. I say, now if we fold it a second time. I say, now that we do it a second time. I said, who's done it a second time? They're like, oh, maybe. I said, okay, now do it a third time. So we do it a third time. Now, these are just helper folds. I tell them to fold it back and forth about 3 times, and you're going to have a little crease. Now, this is the part that we open up those little flappers. If you look really carefully, you can see a folded triangle. Okay. Now, this is what we're going to use to make the bird base. I want to show you how I do it. I don't do helper folds. I just take it. I kind of know where it should stop. So I kind of open it up, and then I start taking the edges and I fold it in towards the center. I take it and I fold it in towards the center. And then when I get right about here, I kind of crease it down. Now I'm still not up yet. I'm still not all the way up. So then I have to take the other side and I fold it into the center. Now here's what's fun. Once you get it like that, then you need to fold it down. Now, that might have been a little bit trickier for you guys, but that's how I do it. But now I'm going to show you how those helper folds help us out. So you're only going to use these creases. So watch what I do. I take my one page, make sure it's the open side, and you open it up to the bottom crease that we did. So the bottom crease. Now, here's what's kind of fun. I start telling my students, you're going to keep on pulling it till it starts looking like a kayak or what is that called? A canoe. That's what it's called. My words like left me. So I start making a canoe. See how it looks kind of like a canoe? And then we flatten down the edges. We flatten down those edges. You got to kind of like mess with some of those creases. And voila, we have it. We have it just like I did it right over here. I don't know which way was easier. I like the canoe technique, but it's just a couple more folds. It's a couple more little helper folds that you have to do. But then you take that one light page and bring it up. You got the canoe, and you collapse the canoe in. All right, let's flip it over. Let's do it again to the back. You have the canoe. Start opening up to the bottom. Notice how I didn't push it past that little line. Okay? Now, kind of have to tweak it just a little bit. Just a little bit. And yes, all these voices that I'm doing on these videos, guys, I do them in my classes. My students tend to start just looking at me, and they don't even watch what we're supposed to be doing. I'm like, well, pay attention to the screen, because they're just staring at me and like, what? Mr. Griffin, you're so fascinating. At least I think that. Or they're saying I'm really weird. I don't know what they're saying. All right, now that we have this, we should have 2 little feet. We should have 2 little feet. If you have a rhombus, and if you don't know what a rhombus is, it's basically a square that looks like it's been tilted. So we have a square that's been shifted, and so now we got this rhombus. Don't call it a diamond. It's not a diamond. Okay, so if you have this rhombus and you have these 2 little feetsies, okay, these feetsies are going to turn into our tail and our head. Make sure you have these feetsies down at the bottom. The top doesn't do it. Now, we're going to take these feet and we're going to take the right side and the left side, and we're going to basically fold it in fold it in half. So watch, I'm going to take one layer of paper, and I fold that edge towards the center. Okay? I folded it in half. Do you see how I folded it in half? Basically just fold it in half. There's the right side. Here's the left side. Be sure not to take both layers. Be sure not to take both layers. I see some students that just fold it both over, and that's what I tell them not to do. So once you have that, you're going to flip it over. You're going to now do the same thing to the back. Check it again. Check and make sure you have the feet. And you fold that in half. Okay? Now, I think this is pretty easy up to this point. And honestly, I can get most of my 5th grade students. Now, if you're wondering, Mr. Griffin, who do you teach this with? I teach this to 5th graders. I have tried to do a crane with lower grades. And yes, you can get it done. You need about an hour. If you have more students, I have taught younger kids one-on-one how to do this. and it's perfectly fine. But whenever you have a whole group of kids, there's always those kids that are a little behind, a little bit confused, and they just need a little bit more one-on-one. It takes about an hour to do this. Maybe you guys are better teachers than me, but it takes me a little bit. So now that I have this, the next two things are called an inside reverse fold. This is as simple as I can say the words. It is Origami Basic 101. It's called inside reverse fold. So here's how I'm going to explain this. You have a piece of paper and it's folded on top of itself. On the inside of the fold, you have this crease. What we're going to do is we're going to go on the inside and we're going to make this crease reverse itself, folding it the other direction. I know it's confusing. So this is how I teach my students. I say grab it right in the center, right where the feet stop. You're going to stick your finger on the inside of that fold. You're going to pull down to the bottom and you get that point. Now watch how it happens. As I start pulling it up, did you guys see that? The fold pops out. The fold pops in the other direction. And you got to keep on going up. Now, this is called the inside reverse fold. So I say I go on the inside, I pull up through the inside, and I reverse the fold to go the other direction, and then I lay this down. Now, I don't go all the way up. You kind of have to have like a little crown. Now, watch me do it one more time. I flip it around. I'm going to stick my finger on the inside. I'm going to grab that point. I pull it up on the inside, and I reverse the fold. I go boop. Sometimes I do that in class too. I go boop. It makes a little boop sound. I don't know if you heard it or not. I heard it. Actually, everyone can try to do it. When you do it and it reverses, I want everyone to go boop. It's just fun. All right. So we do that. We have that. Now we have what looks like a little crown. Now, this is what I get kind of fun with my students as well. I say, now, you're going to point to the ugly point. Now, everyone's like, that's not ugly. Well, fine. Both of mine are pretty good, but this one looks sharper, and this one's a little bit wonky. Do you guys see how it's a little bit wonky? Just a smidgen. Some of your guys' might be a little wonkier. Sometimes I have a lot wonkier ones, but I'm going to pick the ugly side, and I'm going to turn the ugly side into a head. So now we're going to do another inside reverse fold. This time we're going to go the opposite direction. So you're going to take it, you're going to pop it on the inside and reverse it down. Reverse it down. Okay? I don't know if you guys saw that. Watch what I did. I take it on the inside and I reverse it down and I pop the fold down. Oh, I forgot to do this. Boop. There we go. Made it feel a lot better. I had to do the boop. Okay. Now, here's the fun thing. You got your crane. We're going to now take our wings. You fold the wings down as far as they can. Don't crease it. You don't have to crease it. You need to put your fingers underneath and support the wings. You need to put your thumbs on top. And as you do it, you're going to just gently kind of pull it until it flattens up. And then I like to kind of like curl my little feathers or my little wings. And I have a little crane. It's a little pizza crane. And yes, I do that in class too. And they're like, Mr. Griffin, you're so weird. But I had fun with you guys. I hope you guys did. I've got a special origami piece coming up later on today. Hopefully you'll like it and you'll catch it out. Otherwise, be safe. I love you guys. Wash your hands. And I will find a way to get these little golden cranes to my students. Do you see the size difference? Hi, I'm the daddy. I'm the baby. Blah, 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 blah. I think I'm going crazy, guys. All right. Be safe.